If you think about most pups, it's anywhere from 1 to 9, but traditionally they have about 4 to 6. So she went from the extremes of having 1 to 8. So we're really lucky to have them here. Before I start feeding though, oh, that's fine, he's good, he'll start on that side. I wanted to ask by raise of hands, who has actually heard of a red wolf prior to coming to Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium? New re-release site where public appeals a little bit better and where they would naturally be found. So a lot of people sometimes ask, why not here in Washington? Public appeal is great. Well, they're not naturally found here. These guys are found on the East Coast, kind of near wetland areas. And these guys are really important to those wetland areas because these guys are what's known as an apex predator. So some of the main food items that they would consume in the wild are anything from white-tailed deer, so a larger prey item, to nutria, which is kind of like a river otter, raccoon, and rabbit. Now, one of the main food sources that raccoons eat in the wild, are at least in that part of the country, are sea turtle eggs. So these guys are very influential into the environment. So an example is if you add enough red wolves back into their home territory, they're going to decrease the raccoon population, which does what to the sea turtle population? It's going to increase it, right? So they're really, really helpful. I don't know if everyone's familiar with the plight of the gray wolf. So the gray wolves are really doing poorly as well, and so they've done a lot of reintroductions. One of the big reintroductions.
I think that one's the that one's the mom.
It's hard to tell anymore.
That one's the mom right there.
You think so?
Looks like those two guys are puppies. That one looks like
Other one.
Myrtle.
Myrtle, thank you. So going with all those lovely plants. So, at the very beginning of this program, Point Defiance, along with Fish and Wildlife, actually started this breeding program. Because at that time, there was really nobody stepping up to the plate. And we knew that they were on the brink of extinction. And so, Point Defiance, like I said, along with Fish and Wildlife, took the remaining individuals from the wild and started a breeding program. Any guess as to how many individuals were purebreds at that time that we took from the wild? Shout out some numbers.
6.
2. Luckily, there were more than 2. Not by much. 3. Any other guesses? 3. 20. 10. You guys are all guessing low, which is not good, but it's also good in that
25.
fashion. I heard 14. So there were 17 purebreds in the program. Out of those 17, only 14 of which were able to successfully breed. That's not a lot of genetic diversity. So let's just think about this right now. If you guys are in this small little area, look at the amount of people that are in this small little area. I can guarantee there are a lot more people in this small little area than we started the breeding program. Come on. There we go. So that's not a lot of genetic diversity, right? But luckily, he just retired just a little over a year ago. We had the species survival coordinator. There is now a new one. But they have this amazing computer program that tells the genetic diversity of every individual that is in captivity. And so the basis behind that is kind of like Match.com, but it's not necessarily on personality and facial features and you know, what the looks are. It's on the genetics. So we want the best genetics possible. And one thing that's really nice is Charlotte, who you're seeing on my side, Charlotte's genes are really integral and important to this particular species. So these 8 pups are really highly valued. So that is amazing. And so, like I said, we started from those 17. We now have 41 institutions across the United States that actually partner with us, which is amazing. They're all in the United States because this is, again, the United States wolf. And there are now 256 individuals, as of these 8 wolves, that are now in these 41 institutions. Now, because Point Defiance was an integral part of this program, we actually have the majority of these wolves. We have 10 that are housed here. In our main breeding facility, which is right outside of Northwest Rec, which is actually our wolves, there are 51 individuals there. So we have 61 individuals out of the 256 that are in captivity. That is a significant chunk, right? So we are dedicated to these guys and make sure that they're around for a long time. At one point, we were able to re-release into the wild. The only place that they are currently is the Alligator National Wildlife Refuge in North Carolina. And probably about 4 years ago, North Carolina said, we don't really want them here anymore. which is unfortunate because the whole point of this program isn't to be able to have them here. Obviously, we love seeing them, we love having them here, but the whole point is to be able to have them in their natural habitat. And so, we waited on a decision from Fish and Wildlife. One of the biggest hindrances with this particular program is there's been a lot of controversy. Is this a species? Is this a subspecies? Is this a hybrid? And luckily, Fish and Wildlife finally put an end to that, and they said, we're not debating this back and forth. We're going to put some amazing scientists to the test, and they were going to determine if this is for sure a species. And luckily, they said, this is a distinct species, so now we know that they have to take care of them. So North Carolina, like I said, wanted them to go away. And so during that time period, they wanted us to increase our breeding population, totally possible. But the way that the packs normally work is it's the mom and the dad and their kids up to the age of about 2. So at 2, that's when they go off, they find their own mates, and they're going to be parents themselves. So essentially, you need holding space for mom and dad. So we need more institutions to be able to partner with this program. They also wanted us to move the remaining individuals from the wild from the 5 plots of land to the 2 plots of land. So essentially taking them off of private land, moving them to public. This is a little bit on the juicy side, so I'm going to move back a little bit so I don't get...
Her is cheer and clap for her when she comes out because she really enjoys the attention and we want her to know that she's very special. Can you guys do that? Okay, so she'll be out in just a second. First of all, where is the grower that donated the pumpkin? Right here! Thank you so much. She's going to really appreciate this. Let's all give him a round of applause for donating his pumpkin. Kazoo-boo. So what's happening in the backyard right now, if you guys are wondering, we're actually giving Hanako some lunch. And my coworker Russell, everybody say hi Russell. He is actually giving Hanako some lunch as well with a pumpkin. So Hanako's headed over there. And here comes Suki. Let's give her a round of applause and cheer. She's amazing. Yay, Suki.
She knows.
All right, let's see what she does. This is one of her favorite treats. So Suki's about 8,500 pounds and Hanako's about 9,000 pounds. Do you guys think that's a big elephant? Yeah? Do you guys think it's a small elephant? Who thinks it's a small elephant? So the smallest of all the elephants are the female Asian elephants. And so Suki's actually considered a bit small. A male African elephant could get about 16,000 pounds, which is twice what she weighs. Isn't that amazing? So everyone, this is Shannon. Shannon is taking pictures of Suki over here on the left. Shannon is Suki's best friend in the entire world. Shannon has worked with Suki the entire time she's been here, which is about 23 years, and they are best friends. I'm going to talk a little bit about her in just a moment.
There it is.
So what other things about Suki tells you that she's an Asian elephant and not an African elephant? How do you guys, ears? Yep, small ears. So African elephants tend to have the large ears that span kind of the entire length of their head, right? Do you guys see at the tip of her trunk, it might be kind of hard to see, she has what's called a trunk finger. So African elephants have one on either side. Asian elephants just have the one trunk finger. But so if you guys heard that little noise, that's actually kind of a purr, so she's very happy. So she did a little bit of a rumble, so she's really happy about this pumpkin. Another reason that I know Suki's happy right now is look at her eyes. Her eyes are kind of closed. They're in a very relaxed posture. That's one of the things we look at when we're trying to see how our girls are feeling at any given time. We look at their eyes. Are their eyes relaxed? Are their eyes kind of closed? If Suki has an opinion on things, a lot of times her eyes will be a lot larger. So we'll be like, I wonder if she's either not feeling well or she's hearing something strange. She's also flapping her ears. Do you guys see that a little bit? That's also a sign of kind of being happy and content. So she is a happy girl right now. Hanako is also flapping her ears in the backyard. Very happy today. So Hanako actually If you guys look at Suki's feet, she has perfect elephant feet, doesn't she? They're gorgeous, gorgeous nails. Hanako, our other elephant in the back, she has a history of more issues with her feet ever since she was a young baby. So she actually has pads on the bottom of her feet that are physically softer. So we have to spend a lot of time doing work on them. About a little over a year ago, she was diagnosed with a tumor in one of her toenails, but she has been a rock star since. So luckily the treatments are really gentle on her. She seems to actually really enjoy the treatments because that means she gets more treats. So we do things like we actually have her soak her foot in a formula that's actually supposed to excite the cancer cells, and then we have an oncologist come in and target those cells with a laser. Pretty cool, and it doesn't bother her at all. We also use a topical ointment to try to keep her from getting any sort of infection in that nail. And we have sent samples back. They haven't come back positive for cancer. That doesn't mean there's not cancer somewhere there, but hopefully we're at least on the right track. So that's why one of her nails looks funky.